Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. A rare Monday stream. I'm a little bit off calendar at the moment. Someone asked me last week, when are you going to have a consistent streaming schedule? And, well, I've just let go of the thought of that. Twitch really want you to have a consistent streaming schedule and to be on, like, at the same time every day, every week. It's just not conducive to the type of work I do. So I'm just looking 2 weeks ahead, putting streams when I can. People can set alerts for them if they want them. Happy Next Fest and good luck to everyone who is taking part in that Next Fest. I have started trying to take note of when these things are and put them in my calendar. And we have a game today which is participating in Next Fest. So if you haven't seen it before, Folk Emerging is a sort of, oh, my camera's gone all bright, a sort of 4X tuned for single player, or only single player as far as I'm aware, which is about sort of looking after a prehistoric tribe. And I played this a little while back. It's had some tweaks to it. I'm excited and interested to play it again. I enjoyed this last time. I do not have a very good memory of how it works, so I'm probably going to have to learn it again. Reasonably complex game. But yeah, if you like the look of it, go and check it out. It's in the Next Fest starting today. And it's a good example of a thing I would like to see more of, which is that these kind of grand strategy games that aren't really necessarily built around multiplayer. Because traditionally they always have been. All of the Civ games, all of the Paradox games, they are built around a kind of multiplayer kind of board game model, really. It's like a really complex board game run by a computer. And more recently, we've started to see these indie games like Dawnfolk, that is literally just showing up in my Steam there. All of the games with folk in the title. Which are using some of the same concepts and making single-player games around it, which I think is really interesting. I think 4X and Grand Strategy are genres you don't see many indie games in, and that's because conventionally they have been designed as multiplayer games, just like RTS games as well, really. You know, RTS games were designed as multiplayer games, and then the campaign sort of teaches you how to play the game. There's a whole design space there, and I'm always excited to see indies exploring that space, because as a kid I was the kind of kid that would play games like Age of Empires and Civilization and Age of Wonders and stuff, and almost exclusively single player, and obviously trying to do those multiplayer introduces a bunch of issues with the technical implementation, and also just what's called the network effect. So if you're unfamiliar with the network effect, it's the idea that the value of a network or the appeal of a network goes up depending on who's on it. So when you make a choice to join a social media or something like that, if people you know are on it, you're going to value it more. And one of the problems with trying to make multiplayer games as an indie is you're always struggling against that. Why would I play this instead of this other similar game factor is so much stronger. And if you go into tabletop and card game design spaces like Kitten in the chat, you'll be familiar with this, but there's a person popping up every week or so saying, I've made the new Magic the Gathering, and it's like, okay, how are you gonna stop the people that like Magic the Gathering playing Magic the Gathering to play your game instead? And that's a problem with multiplayer games, because you're not just trying to get one person on board at once, you're trying to get their whole friendship group on board. So all of that is to say that I am always interested to see games like this that take a format that would typically have been mainly geared around the multiplayer experience and just try and make a single player indie game out of it. We're going to go with the Storm Tribe. I think I can't remember if I played as both last time. I definitely played as the Moon Tribe, but I can't remember if I played as both at different times or if it was one game. And I can't change any of these. We'll play on standard difficulty and speed. And we'll turn the tutorial pop-ups on. And yeah, let's check it out. We are the last survivors of our tribe after a long migration, countless floods, droughts, victory beasts, vicious beasts, sorry, we have found a new continent full of opportunity. What will we discover? That's a great splash screen. One of the things I like here is you've got the hexes on there, which kind of tell you what sort of game it is, but it's subtle. You know, the theme is front and center. The prehistoric thing is in all the illustration, all the UI, but you could still see there were like some hexes in the background there. That's a really, I think, going like 70% theme, 30% mechanics, where people have tried to make a strategy game on a hex-based grid, and they put hex in the title, and it's like, it's not a strong enough part of the appeal to do that. You play one of several tribes. Every year is one turn. Get 125 victory points to complete the demo and to reveal proto-civilization paths available in the full game. Okay. The big button on the bottom left shows you what to do next. Once you complete all actions shown there, you can end your turn. Hover over it for info and left click on it to stage the action. Okay, so this is like sort of cycling through all the stuff that's waiting for input. So we've got a band here. We can move them. We've got make decision, which will be like, these are like random event cards. And each band is like a unit or an army in Civ. And but they're all named individuals within the band, and they can have different skills and stuff. And then as you have events and choose what to do, they get different traits and everything. So I think we'll be, let's be explorers. We're going to move into the forest where all that food is. Movement ends when entering hills or forested climate or crossing rivers. Okay, that's us done for this turn. We just moved. We picked what type of tribe we had, and then we moved them. After weeks in relentless tropical rainforest humidity, Amipe reveals their foot is blistered infected. What should the band do? Persevere and it will resolve itself. So I can't do find herbs because we don't have training. We'll migrate there. I know when I played this before, I wasn't maybe moving as much as the game expected me to. Let's go and see what that random thing is there. Your scouts come across an opportunity. Okay, we don't have wood or stone. I'm going to take wood first because I'm guessing that that's more immediately useful. It's one of the benefits of having an understandable theme. One of the reasons I often bounce off of crafting or survival games when they're sci-fi is like fantasy and this kind of stuff. Some fantasy prehistoric, it's like there's a very clear hierarchy of what the resources do and what order you're going to need them in and all that kind of stuff. Whereas as soon as you replace all of those with something stranger, it makes it harder to understand. Focus the band's efforts per turn by spending production. Unlock new things to produce via technologies and norms. Early on, alternate between foraging and other producibles to ensure you have enough food. Left click on foraging in the band production menu to the left. Okay, so there we go. You can forage local species for food and special bonuses. You forage by assigning foraging points to species. Foraging a species lowers its local population. Okay. This is a neat system. So we've got 0 food coming in this turn, so I guess Oh no, okay. If we don't forage, then we're going to have minus 24. So we pick one of these. We'll do the apples because that gives us 25. So we get +1 from that. And yeah, depending on which thing you forage, you get like some other secondary effect. Very, very board gamey. So you're doing a worker placement to take a resource, and that resource from wherever you take it from here is just food. But depending on where you take it, you get some other benefit. So, you know, hunting horses for food makes your people stronger at fighting. There are 3 main resources: food, stone, and wood. Food primarily comes from foraging, exploring new tiles, plus hunting and scavenging on the map. Later on, farming and food from livestock are unlocked. Stone can be gathered from adjacent stone deposits and quarries. Food can be gathered from the band's current tile at a rate dependent on the climate. That's a zebu. Delicious. Okay. That's just telling me what those guys are, but I'm not next to them anyway, so I can't hunt them. We're going to head over there. Yeah, we can hunt them. As Banter corners the zebu cluster, Rowan sees a chance to trap a few extra animals, but it could risk the entire operation. Yeah, go on, try it. And then you've got a split band option here that you can only do when the band is large enough. Do some practicing. We'll do practicing. That will give us a training point. I remember the AI being very aggressive in this game before. I'm sure it's been tweaked, but I'm still going to train and get ready just in case. If a band can't feed all of its members at the end of the turn, some become malnourished. Okay, that's not going to happen yet because we've still got more than 0, I think. We've made a breakthrough, mastering the skill of controlled fire. It unlocks the production of campfires and heated stones. One scorching summer day, folks are hiding in the shade and cursing the savannah heat. Suddenly, Kadal stumbles on the ground, face flushed, holding his head. Move them to the shade and hope for the best. Okay. Maybe we go back into the forest and we're going to hunt these chickens. Give me some jungle fowl. And then we're going to do foraging again, because we're losing a lot of food. Right, there's lots of stuff to forage for here. We're going to get some bananas. And we've got a new skill, I think. So we've got controlled fire. Let's get the tools. Is that what we're researching now? Bands have a carrying capacity for each resource. They can stockpile any amount of resource, but when they move, any excess beyond the carrying capacity is left behind. I remember this being a part of the game before, so you can leave behind stuff and then people can like swoop in and take it off you. Rainforest productivity, breathable clothing, or arboreal hunting. Let's go for arboreal hunting. We can hunt better in the forest. And we'll keep hunting these chickens. Won't let us. Okay. More foraging again. Foraging for cacao. Sometimes local animals move together as clusters on the map. Predator species can form a dangerous threat. That's what these red things are. Prey species can form a huntable cluster. They have 3 HP and attacking them decreases their HP by 1. While gathering food for lunch, Kadal notices a strange mushroom. Go on. Go on. We had a storm. Rebuild quickly. Oh, I need to train. Oh, I need training points to spend in fighting these guys. So the way this works is when I use the practicing production, that lets us get a training point, and then you can use that for different things. And hunting those animal packs is one of the things you can use it for. It's going to give us a fertility, which means we might have more members next time. Whereas this is my population, 30. Risk from wildlife triggers wildlife encounter events. Risk from exposure triggers exposure events. Risk of disease makes individuals sick. Negative happiness levels trigger other negative events. Okay. You made a breakthrough mastering the skill of bone and wood tools. You can make clubs. You can train a maker. And you can have marine cluster hunting. Okay. One of our 3-year-olds is getting bitten by a hyena. We're going to leave the child to fend for itself. Or we distract it. Kadal has a chance to lose 90 health. But get some reputation. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. You've discovered a new spiritual site. That's Mount Kazbek here. Your tribe marvels at its beauty and deems it a spiritual site. The name is Mount Kazbek. Devotee bonus. Morale to units of bands adjacent to the site. Okay. That seems maybe important to focus on. Let's do a gathering wood this turn because we haven't really been doing that, and we've got enough food to tide us over. The food is very, very tight on this. Shields. Okay, we've got some role specialization stuff. The strength of a role's effects depends on the attributes of the person assigned to it. With more years of experience in a role, a person gets better at it. They get an upgrade every 10 years. Okay. We haven't unlocked Shaman yet. We've only got Maker. So we can sort by relevant traits and we can say, okay. Oh, none of them have relevant traits yet. I'm going to take, I don't know, like 5 of them and make them makers, I guess. So we'll say 15-year-old, 17. Oh, we can only have 1 maker. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make the youngest person into the maker because then they'll have the most time to mature in that role. We'll do that. Ending the turn. Consider researching coordinated hunting and cooking. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like getting the maximum food storage up as early as possible is going to be helpful as well. You've encountered bad NA from previous unmet people, the Sun Tribe. They don't look too different from us, but our priorities are not the same. And we've encountered the Earth Tribe as well. We'll go to foraging. Let's get our food all the way up. And... I'm going to mostly keep around the rainforest this time, I think. Although, I might not have a choice. These guys are coming in from both sides. Idare is going to try and rescue one of the kids from a wildfire. Let's just keep moving away from that. I don't want to be near the wildfire. We're going to hunt those guys. Get some piggies. Do some standing guard. That gives us the resource to train our people up to be able to use weapons and stuff. Nihol keeps staring at the sky. Do we... So these are like the character choice points that let you kind of decide what type of people are in your tribe. We can encourage them to spend more time with their kin and they get reputation at the loss of curiosity, or we can say the stars seem to hold a secret and then they get more curiosity but they become unhealthy. I'm going to go for that one. Going to keep moving away from the wildfire because fire bad. If there's one thing I know about being a good caveman, it is fire bad. And the interesting thing about this foraging system is we don't always need to go for the thing that gives us the most food. Right? We can go for the thing that is going to give us slightly more research points or something. So I'm going to do that this time. Okay, so we can... There's a snake, or a snake in the camp. If Idare fights it, they will become wounded by wildlife. They might have chronic pain, and they will gain courage. We can throw... Well, I'm going to throw food at it, make it go away. We're going to get some food from hunting these guys. We're going to do some more foraging. And this time... Go for this one. This makes them happy. Because they're foraging for cocoa. Okay, diplomacy. Who's this? They're offering some copper ore. Okay. You can have some wood. Oh, they want... This is what we're exchanging. Yeah, sure. You can have our wood. I don't like that they just follow me around like that. Right, we've got one training point. It feels like having to manually click out of that menu using the exit feels like feels wrong, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because using the top right cross usually feels like a backing out action, but we're actually going forward because I've made a decision about what to research, and now it's like, okay, we're done with this screen, but we're done in a let's continue way rather than a forget about it kind of way. Rainforest power. I think that just makes us better at fighting in the rainforest, which we're going to stay down near here. Our holy mountain is in the rainforest, so we want to stay in this area now. What started as a playful disagreement between 21-year-old Derek and 58-year-old Oradi escalated into a tense dispute between the hunters and explorer clans. Should Banter host a tree climbing and racing competition to show off the clan's agility? So they either have a conflict and we leave it alone, and there's a chance that either of them becomes injured. And these are like the heads of our different clans within our tribe. Or, yeah, it's a band on the map, which is like the whole group of people. And then these are like the different clans within it. So we can either say the conflict is inevitable, the hunters and the explorers will damage their reputation, and they might injure themselves, or we can use a training point to host a competition, and they might both get a courage point. I'm going to do that. That's a decent use of that resource, I think. We're going to go back here so we can hunt these animals, although I don't have a training point to do it with this time. We're going to go back onto this bit, and then come back round and just keep looping round and round the mountain, I think. Such is the way of our people. We can get extra training points by foraging for Mongongo. Keep moving. There's a cougar behaving strangely. They can flee but tell everyone that they felled the cougar, and then they lose courage and curiosity, but they both gain reputation. That's funny. Oh, let's investigate it. Your Banter is under attack. Uh-oh. Yeah, we've only got brawlers, basically. Just put everyone. Everyone. They've got the same amount of people as us, but they probably armed them better. I think we won that. I think we fended them off. I'm not totally sure. Yes. Don't do that. Stay out of my jungle. Gonna go and hunt some chickens. Okay, we need stones. We can't do it at the moment. Let's get cooking so that we have better food efficiency. Just see what Superius in the chat is saying. Hey there, do you have any perspective on how to playtest turn-based RPGs? I can't wrap my head around how to test mechanics without creating lots of content that uses them. What are you testing for? That's the question. Because there's lots of things you can be testing when you're playtesting, and there's a good chance that you won't know what that is at first because you don't know what you're strong and weak at. But are you testing the game mechanics, or are you testing the UX of how they are communicated? Because those are different things as well. With turn-based games, I would usually say go as analog as you can. You know, do it with the tabletop, or do it on the computer with Tabletop Simulator, do it with paper, whatever, because that will get you there quicker if what you're testing is the game mechanics. But if what you're testing is your implementation of the game mechanics in terms of how they technically work in the game engine and the UX and the interface and stuff, then that's a slightly different matter. But when you do playtesting, there's a few different things you could be testing, and one is like the actual rules of the game, and one is how the video game like makes them interactable. And yeah, I think you need to know what you're testing for. What part of that are you testing mainly? Okay, we've got a new specialist role. We've got a maker. We're gonna make someone a war master. So who's got the most relevant traits? Oseen, you're going to be a war master now. We don't have shaman or chief unlocked. Okay. Yeah, so there's a stones all the way up there. So maybe we're going to migrate towards the stones and then come back afterwards. Keep practicing in case we need a training point. Standing guard, because we've got those. Oh no, we need to be foraging this turn, don't we? Bananas. I needed to be standing guard, but I didn't have any choice because they're going to keep attacking me now. Hopefully they'll learn eventually and just stop attacking us. Netta has accumulated experience as the tribe's maker. What are you gonna become? A cultivator, a herder, brave. We're gonna go with the farming route for now because it seems simpler. Keep foraging as we go over to that stone. We're nearly up to 40 in the tribe, which is good. We were 30 not that long ago. Okay, we're going to make a beeline over this way because they're going to keep following us. Losers. Hunt those gazelles. Each tribe has 3 ancestral clans, and each person belongs to one clan. Each clan elects its own clan head out of your control, shown in the pinned characters top right. Their reputation contributes to their clan's influence. Each clan has a relationship with other clans. Negative clan opinions between 2 clans reduces production of bands led by these clans. Okay, you can spend tribe culture to improve clan-clan relationships. So, after a successful hunt, an argument erupts between the warriors clan and the explorers clan. Who should get the credit? So I can choose who to give the credit to. And I can't do the last one because I don't have a council. And the council would let me spend that band culture to mediate these disputes. So we're going to give it to the warriors. And now I think we can gather some stone. And that will allow us to do hot stones, which will allow us to start doing cooking. When a band reaches 40 population, you can split into 2. I'm not going to do that for a long time. We scavenge more food from tuber, grain, and leaf because of our cooking. Sivar loves being the center of attention and making others laugh. Some are not amused. Does he double down on acting the fool or settle down? You can carry on being a silly guy. That's fine. That's fine. Be a silly guy. Flashing icons at the top right. Okay. Cultural norms. Cultural norms give tribe-wide bonuses. They enable different kinds of playstyles. Aggressive, diplomatic, tall-wide, etc. You can spend accumulated tribe culture to adopt norms. Okay. I'm going to go for Valor. Because we just keep getting attacked by these pesky other tribes. Right, and then we can do our clan mediation. So this is the worst relationship at the moment between the explorers and the warriors. We can mediate that now and it goes back to being basically neutral. And let's mediate that and get that up to positive. The explorers and the hunters. And if we get that up to over 100, the tribe gets a bonus for a synergy between these. Okay, that's good to know. That's a good place to dump the culture points if I'm not using them for anything else. Let's do some heated stones. Oh no, we need... Let's forage for this turn and then we'll do heated stones next. Do that one because it speeds our research up. Keep moving around here because I want to stay near the stone. Amber or food? I'll take some amber. Haven't had any of that before. Not going to split the band yet. And do that to unlock our shaman next. Persistence hunting. Yeah, we don't really want to spend too long in the desert if we can avoid it. Hey, Stefan. Stay there. And, okay, we've got enough food now, so now we'll start building our camp amenities like our campfires and our heated stones. See what that event is there. We'll get some production. Making loads of extra food this turn now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ice Age time. We've made a breakthrough mastering the skill of herbal medicine. Now we've got the shaman, we can build smoke racks, which reduce food waste and allow you to get more food from aquatic animal species. That might be good if we're trying to like hold the jungle, which is on the sea line as well. It might be good to invest in the aquatic animal hunting. Medicinal rituals. So per type of production focus gives you health per turn, reduces risk of disease, and gives you training. Okay. Yeah, I do. I occasionally do streams in the evening, Stefan. It really just depends what else is going on in my life. I've tried to normalize them at this time of the day, because that's when I'm usually available. So my kids are only with me week on, week off. So if people are used to me streaming in the evening, then the weeks when the kids are here, then I'll be streaming when they're at home rather than when they're at school. So you'll find a lot of the older streamers from the UK do the same thing. Limmy streams at the same time as me. I'm fine with that. This is not a channel where the goal is to be accessible to as many people as possible. I'm quite happy sat here with my 30 to 60 people that I regularly see and chatting to you guys. You know, if there were folks who were doing the Patreon and stuff who were actively telling me they really want more varied stream times, then I would do more varied stream times, and occasionally I do, and people are grateful for it. But I am generally okay with not trying to maximize for the Americans. Do we do anything with this at the moment? Is there any benefit? I guess we just keep gradually mediating them until they're better, and now we can make someone our shaman. We want it to be someone reasonably young so they have the longest time to upgrade. That might not... And bearing in mind, this is not a strategy guide, so if you go off and play this and... because it looks like your thing, I'm thinking out loud about how I'm interpreting the game systems. I might be totally wrong about some of this. But yeah, you get to pick these different specialists, like Maker, War Master, Shaman, Chief. We don't have Chief unlocked yet. But each time I've picked someone very, very young so that they've got as long as possible in that role, because every 10 years they get an upgrade. That might not actually be the best way to play it, but just so anyone who's come in late understands, I'm not an expert at this game, and the way I'm playing it may not be a good way to follow. See, Nate jokingly says, as an American, I'm appalled that I'm not the main focus of your efforts. And see, Nate, you're saying that jokingly. But I do have a lot of interactions with people on here. Not in streams, but mostly in YouTube comments. Like flyby commenters who leave one comment on a video on the channel, who've never watched anything before, and leave one comment to tell me to do things differently. And I suspect a lot of them are Americans, because the audience is like 60% American for my videos. And the implicit message of those is usually along the lines of, I am frankly appalled that I am not the focus of your efforts. So you say it as a joke, and yet there are lots of people who think that way. They would never overtly say that, but they do think that way. Right, we're going to forage to get our food up, and then I think we're going to start doing festivals and stuff, because happiness is in the yellow, so I think I'm supposed to be paying attention to that. Let's get some berries. Okay, our War Master, they can become a Highlander or a Tactician. What does that mean? Tactician gives them better critical hit probability. So critical hit would be better if we were playing the game very aggressively. So if I was like going around the map trying to wipe everyone out and I was engaging as much combat as possible, then the critical hit bonus is going to pay off more. Let's make them wise. That's fine. We're mostly trying to stay out of trouble over here. we will be able to fish eventually, but we've got to build up training points and get the relevant stuff for it. Okay, so we're going to do a festival to make our people happy. Hi, Ivy. Thanks for dropping in. Okay, we can domesticate species now. As far as the eye can see, nature has lessons to teach. What are we ready to learn? Where did this come from? Was this because of our festival? We can have a boosted fertility, boosted culture. I mean, having the fertility right up is probably best, because that gives us more production later on, because we've got more people in the tribe. Eliwo is... What's Eliwo? You're our shaman. Esehi and Eliwo, they're both gonna might get wounded. I think one thing to the dev, so the dev of this is in the chat, so if anyone is watching and wants to ask the developer any questions, I've got multi-stream on, and the dev is in the YouTube chat, so if you type a question and you're in Twitch, the dev might see it on my screen, or I can read it out. But if you're on YouTube and you type a question, the dev will be able to see it live in the chat as well. So if you have any questions as we go along, then, or any comments for the dev, please throw them out. That's what this channel is all about. And yeah, one thing I was going to say to the dev, Curious Dynamics, is I think when you make a choice on the events and there's a random roll or any kind of outcome, there needs to be some quick announcement of which things happened. Because it's like I have to look around the screen to see if anyone got injured or anything. I guess it's these. Is any of these kind of showing what just happened? Yeah, that's the outcome of the wildlife encounter. This happened. This did not happen. Okay. Yeah, it feels like that needs to force you to look at what happened or something. Yeah. I guess it could get annoying if you had to look at it every time, but it just feels a bit strange that it doesn't, at least initially, make you look at it. Right, we're just going to go for the highest food yield here at the moment, and then we'll get some stone, because we don't have any. Move up to where the chicken is. What do baskets and nets do? Don't know. I should probably try and kill the python. Our maker... We need 2 training to take an HP off of that. They've only got 24. It's really tempting to attack them now. Maybe I should. Maybe I should gear up for just straight up murdering the other tribe. I mean, they've attacked me twice. I've been nice and just left them alone every time. Let's see. Give us all your quartz. Will our relationship go up if we trade, so that they're less likely to attack us in future? Your tribe and their tribe can pass through each other's tiles for 10 turns. Cost 10 food. Let's do that. Let's have a little movement, freedom of movement agreement with the other tribe. Ah, okay. They've split off into 2. That's why there were so few in that one. I'm glad I didn't just start fighting them straight off then. Okay, food is getting scarce down here. If we eat bats, we get culture. This is positive goth representation. You give us debt and a pearl, and we give you back all the quartz we just traded off you. Sure. Rainforest productivity, seeing as we are trying to stick to the rainforest for now. Choose production. What do we need that we don't have? Maybe we'll split eventually. I don't want to leave either of my tribes at less than 30, because they've got about 23, 25 in each group. So I guess if I split in the next couple of turns, I'll be okay, because I'll still have a bigger main group than they have. But let's domesticate some animals. Let's get some piggies. The Moon Tribe are here. Hello, Moon Tribe. Okay, they've got 44. Basically, I don't want to split and leave any of my groups smaller than one of these. Which might be a bit stubborn, but fine. Foraging, because we're on red in the food this time. Oh, we're getting low on food in this whole area now. What can we do? Food, foraging from small game and aquatic gone up if we get cutting blades. That seems useful. We'll hunt those chickens and try and take the risk for the extra ones. Ekape loves adrenaline, fighting and hunting, but the others wish she would stick around and help at the campsite. So she can have a courage or discipline and reputation. I'm gonna tell her to stay at the campsite because you get 2 different points out of that. Sorry, I'm min-maxing your entire life here, prehistoric child. That's just the way things are. Okay. I think the forest has just been stripped for food. We're starting to starve now, so we need to just get out of here. And it's slow to move through. Nothing to forage. Oh, it's because we're in Ice Age. That's why. It's because we're in an Ice Age. Build some tool racks. I didn't check what they do, but it will be something related to production. The shaman is going to become zealous. And we got flooded, and we don't have any worship points to put in the mountain. Oh, you need to build a monument as well to be able to do that. So if we wanted to fish, we would need a training point, which I don't have. Go over here and hunt these guys. Can't do that either. So I guess we need to do practicing to get our training points up. We're still not going to get a whole point in that turn. That's terrible. Training of axes and spears or ability to build it. Let's get the ability to build a monument. So someone asked about streaming times earlier, and just to add on to that conversation a little bit, we're getting some food coming back here, that's good. I started, so I currently multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch, but they added an option to multi-stream to Patreon as well. Now I don't know if anyone is actually going to watch that. It doesn't show up in the chat or anything. But it means that there's a VOD on Patreon for all of the streams from the last 2 weeks. What I've done, because I thought it would be more interesting, is instead of setting those VODs live, I've scheduled them to go live in a year's time, or 2 years' time, or 3 years' time, or 4 years' time. So if your game was in any of the streams in the last couple of weeks, since it's been going to Patreon as well, it will show up in a year or two. And it will be like this time last year, or this time 2 years ago, this day 2 years ago, and it will show up there. I thought that was a more interesting way of using the feature than just putting them all live immediately. Okay, we're gonna lose this. Put everyone into brawlers. They've only got a few more than us. Ah. We're just better trained. I think it's because I'm lumping them all into one unit, so it's just rolling better, but I'm not sure about the underlying mechanics of that. Oh, it's emailing you every time I'm streaming. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, because that sounds really annoying, and that shouldn't be a thing. Let me just make myself a note. Patreon, turn off annoying emails. Yeah, they keep adding more and more features, and they haven't necessarily made it easier to find how to control them, so I'll look into that today, because I don't think it should be doing that. You've encountered Band Get from a previously unmet people, the Neanderthals. They are wider, shorter, and stockier, with sloping foreheads, wide noses, and weird voices. We've got an ice age and a wildfire. Uh-oh. I'm trapped in here. It's a good time to learn how to fish. Let's get some tubers. Okay, we're doing alright for food again now, and they're leaving us alone a little bit. Good. Our War Master, we can make them a swimmer. They get morale next to rivers or coasts. And yeah, okay, that seems good for where we are in the world. We can domesticate some tubers. Let them live indoors. You've made a breakthrough mastering the skill of the ceremonial burial. We can build a monument and we can build figurines. Figurines give you happiness per turn, and you need stone. Okay, we've got some stone. And the monument needs stone, and If you put it next to a spiritual site, it lets you invest worship points there. Okay. That's our little mission now. That's our kind of ongoing mission. Neta is our maker, and they either become gracious, so they get more charisma, or they become a herder, and we get more food. I'm going to have to go with the food option for now. And we are going to probably head out to get more stone now that we're on a mission to build statues and figurines and stuff. Structures. Okay, I can't see one here. Let's forage first. So get those guys. The elephant, and we get some culture points. We've got loads of culture points now, so we should use them. Get the opportunity to build a farm. Right. Okay, we can build a new cultural norm. That gives us more food from plant species and worship points. So that seems pretty useful. Let's go with that. We can still afford another one. And frosty. Mediate that one. Okay, and then we're foraging again. Hunting some elephants, as you do. I think it was letting me do 2 forages at once then. I'm not sure what happened. Right, now my most dangerous thing is my tribe's happiness is really low. Investigate that, see what happened. They both got wounded. Oh dear. Move over here to the stone. And now we can build our figurines, which is going to give us happiness per turn. So we're still losing 18 every turn, but we'll go down to losing 13 every turn. Okay. And now we're here. We'll maybe move a little bit away from the fire and then do some foraging here, and then we can start mining more stone. What are these? Agave. That gives our people more happy. Ah, okay. So we've got... Where are our foraging points? So this thing is the foraging point. How do I see that normally? I guess I can't see it normally. So we can have one of those and bunny rabbits. I'm going to stay here because the threats aren't touching this hex. So lots of predators around here, but none of them are actually in range. Sending scouts out because I can. Alipo is eager to stand out as productive, but her competitiveness alienates some of her peers. No, you can carry on. Carry on as you are. Right, we've got enough stone to start the construction of a monument. Keep trying to grow the tribe, I guess. keep going for like the fertility and happiness options when I forage. We'll make the shaman witty because that gives us a happiness income of 5 per turn. So we're crawling our way up there. It's at -3 per turn now. Start building a monument now. Do a festival, try and make the people happy again. Got enough food. Alternating between food and happiness at the moment. Really, really tight, the balancing on this. Which is good, which is what you need in one of these games. We've made a breakthrough mastering the skill of crop cultivation. Now we can build a farm. What do we need to build a farm? We need wood and stone. Stay there for now. Yes, yeah, it's just what you need. It's what you need in one of these games. You know, you want it to feel like this seesaw. Seesaw with lots of different directions. Let's get away from all of these wildlife hazards for a little bit. And finally, we're up to neutral happiness. That's good. Maybe it's a good time to have a festival now because we're not starving. And I think now that everyone has gone off, maybe now it would be a good time to start thinking about splitting the band. Let's do it. Okay, it just evenly splits it. We're gonna give them the quartz. Let's do it. Our previous thing was ruled by explorers. This one is going to be ruled by warriors. Yeah, the theme of it being tribal does make it feel more human. And I don't think this would necessarily work in a city or country thing to have like loads of named characters. The 4X series that I've played the most of are Age of Wonders, which is like a fantasy one, and Age of Wonders Planetfall, which is like the sci-fi version of that. And they have hero characters, but everything else isn't named. But it works very well in this context. So we've got this like small tribes, and everyone's got a name. Some of them have special jobs. They all have little stats and everything, but you know, it's not like RimWorld. You're not like watching them go around. Okay, that's Nick. Is it gonna... So I don't know what happens once I'm split, if I need to set different things for each of them, or if they both do the same thing wherever they are. Oseen is the tribe's war master. Okay, you're going to go up there. Keep building the monument. Oh yeah, it's here to go through the bands. Be good to have a keyboard shortcut for that, maybe. You will be practicing. Scare away the snacko. Go up here and get some more stone. And then these guys forage down here. So even though these are separate, the food and stuff is still shared, which makes things a little bit easier. And they're just automatically choosing what to forage based on the last one unless I manually do it. Tab alternates, cool. We've made a breakthrough mastering the skill of cordage, making ropes. So baskets give us maximum carry capacity and nets give us more food from rivers and coasts. Okay, they're both useful for us. Gather more stone. And festival. Nearly got our happiness out of the red. Nearly. The food is not shared. Ah, okay, cool. Oh yeah, so that when I switch between them, this whole panel is for the band. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so Terra, my explorers, they do need to do their own foraging. Okay, so instead of just sending them to die while digging rocks, maybe I should let them do some food stuff. Oh, it let me cycle through the other units then. That was strange. I was pressing tab between turns and it was going between all of the other guys. These guys have got automated foraging on. Yeah, it seems to only do it when you're between turns. Domesticate some pigs. Uh-oh. Not another ice age. We've made a breakthrough mastering the skill of stoneworking. We can make a quarry next to a mountain. We can make fortifications. We can make a tepe. Oh, cool, like a ziggurat type thing. And we can make Stonehenge. Liwo, the tribe's shaman. They can be a herbalist. Better health per turn, or they can become a brave. Courage. Let's go for the health. Orole died. No. Yes, died. Died. So, just thinking about what Jin asked, I've basically just got to the point where I can unlock farms, which means I sort of now, if I build a farm, I'm incentivized to try and stay in that one place. We'll be on a river tile to build a farm. So if I go there, we need 10 production. Do we have that? No, we don't. Okay. Keep contributing to the monument when I remember to. I don't always. So farm around here somewhere. Send these guys to get some stone. Need food first. Domesticate some more animals, or domesticate the chicken. Sure. No, you already owe us 112 debt, and no, that's not worth it, because you can't get in more debt with us. They're being cheeky. They're asking for... We've already lent them loads of stuff, and they're asking for more stuff. Getting rafts. Ugh. Don't do that. I'm just gonna do what I did last time, which is just stick them all in the same one, because that seems to do okay. Not this time, though. Oof. I do like the fact that the battles don't kill you. You just get knocked back and you lose stuff. Ugh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I just turned it off for a minute while I was doing some things. We'll put it back on soon. Move these guys over there where the food is. Guys need to stay there for the stone for now. I thought the blue progress bar was like how many points you put into it, but yeah, okay. So you have to keep doing it until that's full. Got it. Okay, I'll keep going for that then. Oh, very small bug there. It let me click on the opportunity card when we were between turns and it just sort of went away. Let's go where there's a little bit more food. Okay, so that's... How do we see we've domesticated it now? That's not what I don't want to do that. I want to change this. To just do foraging here. Yeah, so the highlights here are how you spend your tribe culture so you can get these permanent upgrade things. And then you've got these relationships within your clan that you can try and drive up using that same resource. So this has got a synergy. This gets a... What's the synergy? Attack strength for my units. Okay. And then we'll do explorers and hunters next time we've got enough. So if we get the relationships within the bands really strong, you get little bonuses that are like thematic to what that relationship represents. So we got an attack bonus because it was the hunters and the warriors, their relationship within the tribe. I think a thing that might help me a little bit in terms of when we're into like multiple bands is having... If you took the player color, this dark teal, and you put a little bit more of it here, it would help me make the association between this and that. I mean, this panel up here and that specific group there. Because if you look at this, it's like the blue is there as the player color, but this is like, that's to show that it's yours, and then that's to show which one it is. And I think because we've got the symbol of that band there, if that was on the player color, it would have a clearer link between this and this, but very hard to know if that would work for everyone. Okay, festivals for you because your happiness is so low. We need to try and do something about that. And these guys are doing okay, so let's finish off domesticating the pigs. They're leaving food behind. I think I might take that. Go and forage some baobabs, guys. And some elephants, because elephants give us culture points. And stay there, because it's got the most food. Yeah, the push and pull of having to chase the food around while having all of these other things competing for your both your attention and your resources is great. There is loads of food down there, so let's just go for it. Build the monument. Come on, guys, we can do it. We're going to build a big... With a wind tribe, it's quite hard to build a monument of wind. We're going to build a giant whoopee cushion. Okay, we've got animal husbandry, which means we can get movement bonuses from camels if we want to. Now we can start thinking about building a farm. Caveman Abe Lincoln, aka Cave B. Get these guys away from those people that are gonna come and murder us. Score years ago, I listened to a history podcast that was talking about Abe Lincoln and apparently had a very high voice. So everyone that's acted as him has been like making him sound like deep and macho or whatever, but apparently there's a record that says that he had quite a high voice, and then they were sort of speculating that that made him maybe a better orator because it carries further in a crowd. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Probably made up. Well, let's build a quarry as well. And then we can start to get stone without having to trek across the map. Okay, we're building stuff now. I would say this interface feels a little bit underdeveloped in terms of some of the other stuff in the game. It doesn't matter so much because once you get to it, and when I say this interface, I mean this building things at the intersections of the hexes. Once you get to it, you're invested enough to not care. But I think it could... There's a few things like I think when you're spending a currency, like when we're spending stone to build something, it could be a bit clearer that that's coming out of the, you know, where the stone is stored in the interface and going into that thing. All of those little types of things could be helpful to have a little bit more focus on. I'm just going to starve for a year to get this thing built. Why are you attacking me? Kind of said this interface is a great example of keeping on theme, but also not messing around when it comes to font choice for important information. Yeah, I think that's a very good observation. It has this very thematic, like, this is such a cartoonish, like, font to use for this. This is like, I've gone to the local Crazy Golf, and it's caveman or jungle themed. That's what that would look like. But then the rest of it's quite subdued. And that's good, because we need the legibility here. It's a very good balance of like flavor and functionality, and even just the contrast you've got between this brown wood and the grey means that something that could be very, very drab if it's all grey kind of feels reasonably broken up by these warmer brown wooden bits. Look, I'm just trying to build a farm in the rainforest. Why are you beating me up? Stay there. You guys, let's abandon the farm for a little bit and just go for a little bit of a walkabout over here. You can have a festival because these guys are so unhappy. Minus 200 unhappy. I don't know how much that is. Seems like a bad amount. Now these guys can always gather stone when they're here now, which is good. So let's get them all fed up and stocked up on food. And then they can start gathering stone for the monument. And we'll go and see. We can get... Unlock tradition and... Ooh. We've got a new synergy now. What is the synergy that you guys get? They're getting some kind of food synergy that I can't quite see right now. Okay. You guys get out of the way of that wildfire. And just concentrate on feeding yourselves for a little while. And you get away from the wildfire as well, because they can still Gather stone from down here. 13 stone. That's much better stone income than we were getting before. I'm getting victory points just from having a high total population at the moment. That's good. We're going to go around this way to where all the food is. Keep running away from the fire. Keep going for the happiness and babies options on the food. Although this one we can go for... training with those guys, I guess. Back round here and I rebuild this farm and then bring my other clan back over and just keep circling around the mountain. So it feels like this whole scenario is going to take us 2 hours, but it could go between like 2 and 3 hours depending on how quickly you're playing, which feels good. Now the other issue that I've always had with 4X games is you set them up and then the actual game takes like 5 or 6 hours, and I don't know if I want that, you know. I'm always excited by it at the start and then... Bleh. Okay, we've got a farm now, so now that we've got a farm, there's a farming thing there, but it's not equipped with farm items. Okay, so do we have to do... How do we build the farm items? I don't know if we've got them. I just missed a load of the chat. Here's the research thing. So, where's farms? I think I don't have the bit, because it's the demo, I don't have the bit of the skill tree that lets you actually use the farms. I need the farm items. Those predators were so difficult to defeat earlier on in the game, and it feels really satisfying to be able to just wipe them out now. Oh, farm items are domesticated plants. Okay, I see. Ah, okay, cool. Got it. And then that means that if I do farming, then that uses that and makes more food. Got it. Got it. Okay. Got a new role. So these guys, this needs a new maker. So let's do it by... Don't have a sort by age, do we? Very close to having our monument, which means that our holy site. So our people come across Mount Kazbek, they're like, oh, this is a holy place. But you can't actually use the holy place to win the game unless you build a monument next to it, and then you go and you invest your worship points there. I think we'll finish that this turn. I'm just fortifying next to my farm. Probably need to have some food. Uh-oh, heat wave. Spending every turn building, and I should try and get some more food. Oh, didn't want to do that. That was a very sudden win. I had all these worship points stored up from doing other things. I can't remember what they came from. I know I got some of them from like the cultural norm that was to do with like art and stuff like that. I know that gave me some worship points. I'm not sure where the other 8 worship points came from. And then as soon as I had that monument built, I just whacked everything down. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's much more pleasant to play now that the AI isn't just constantly bullying you. And there were enough moments in that where I felt like, you know, they were coming in and attacking me, but then they sort of went off and did their own thing. And the first time I played it, months back, it just felt like the AI was constantly ganging up on me and like chasing me around the map. And I think in a single player game, you want more of a sort of pleasant just experience of trying to build your engine and deal with the natural threats and everything. And then the other characters aren't there to simulate a human player. They're just there to add this extra bit of like unpredictability and volatility and friction to the game, but like not necessarily to absolutely hammer you. And you can you know, this balancing feels great. You can ramp it up from there based on like how many times people have won the game and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, really nice. Yeah, I don't know what a trophy would be in this context, but it's such a obvious symbol. But Nate said it's cool how you progress from nomadic to settled. Yeah, and because it's a spatial thing on the board, right? Like the way that the board works is you've got these hexagonal tiles which can only be occupied by a band, like a unit. And then all of the things that you build are on the edges of the tiles, which creates an interesting adjacency set of rules, because, you know, that farm that's there on that river, I can go around to either of these tiles, and maybe I didn't put it in the best place because it's adjacent to the mountain, and that means that a third of its adjoining hexes are not accessible. But the farm, you know, you can now farm from anything that is touching it from these three different sides. That would be very different from the kind of Civ way of doing it, where, you know, your settlement is a whole hexagon and you go on it and then your characters are in the hexagon and they're doing stuff. So the way that it actually uses the board configuration is very interesting. I do think some of these elements, like these little squares for buildings, I think it could pay to make them feel a little bit more like a token that is being placed down on a board. But everything's clear. I think the UX of this is very good. The graphic design of it is a little bit better than I last saw it, and I think it was pretty good then already, but it just, I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what's changed, but it's very, very clear. It straddles it straddles the line between being thematic and having these caveman fonts and everything else being legible. It does that very, very well. Yeah, that's really great. I've played it twice now, and neither time have I found it overwhelming. There's definitely stuff I forget about, like these burning symbols up here. I frequently forget about them, but I don't think that's a bad... I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to, like, save up all of this tribe culture resource for a long time and miss loads and loads of, like, 12 turns where I could be spending it over here. Because then when you notice as a player, you go, ooh, and then you've got a surplus and you go in there and you get loads of stuff and it feels good. So I think games like this, if you're making some type of strategy game, whether it's a turn-based game or a real-time game or whatever, it's almost like you've got the actual economy of the game, and then you've got the attention economy of like how much of the game can the player actually think about at any given time. And both of those things, you're aiming for this, you know, it's almost like the fog of war that you get in these games, where there's sort of like in a fog of war in a strategy game, there's three states, right? There's what I can see, there's what I have seen but I can't see currently, and then there's what I haven't seen at all and I don't know what's there. And it's almost like you have those states on the rest of the game systems as well. You know, there's stuff in the game that I probably haven't learned about yet. Like, there's stuff on the tech tree I've never used. I didn't learn about all the different types of military units in this game because I didn't spec into it at all. And then there's the stuff where it's like, okay, I know about this. Like, I know about spending culture to improve my clan's relationships, but I can't think about it right now because I'm focused on getting this little group its food. And having all those competing priorities, you can get to that through the actual game systems, or you can get to it through just having so much stuff in the game that the player can't think of it all at once. And I think this does a really good balance of those things. There's a constant push and pull of like, yes, you always need food. You always need to get food. You always need to improve your carry capacity for food, your ability to get food more efficiently, and you're focused on that like 2/3 of the time. And sometimes that means investing in research to make you better at hunting or different types of foraging. And sometimes it means like physically moving around the map. And then when you take into account the other things you're trying to do, like build a monument or build a quarry so you can build a monument or build a farm, the fact that, as Nate just said, the fact you kind of gradually go from being nomadic to being more settled. So, okay, you are still nomadic, you go out and wander to get things, but you've started building these things in a particular location, and that means that now when you need to go 2 spaces away to go and hunt food there because there's more opportunity there, there's something that to pull you back to that specific place because you're working on, investing your wood and your stone on those things you were building there. So like the economy part of the game and the spatial part of the game all work together in a really, really interesting way. And one of the things that's interesting as well is the food economy it's quite simple in places, but the complexity is at the level of like the tech tree and how your tribe feels a particular way as you level it up. So just to give you an example, if you go into I don't know if I can still see it actually, when you go into this food web, this feels like the maximum game mechanics for the minimum simulation. And what I mean by that is there's stuff in here that makes a little bit of thematic sense, right? Maybe it makes a bit of sense that my tribe is going to be healthier if their diet is mostly bananas for a year, or they're going to be more fertile if they eat a particular thing, or they're going to be more happy if they focus on cocoa, right? That makes a little bit of thematic sense, but it's mostly there to give you a mechanical choice. And because it's focused on the mechanical choice and not on like loads of noise that would be added by being too simulationist, it means that all of these moment-to-moment like decisions about trying to top up your food are interesting. And you have turn-to-turn interesting decisions about, which food do we focus on this year because I want to get the associated bonus of that particular thing in this very specific context of like these next 2 turns. And then you've got the much longer term thing of, when I'm building the tech tree, how am I going to, which things am I going to pick to make my food income easier? And the interesting thing about that then is it specializes you in a particular direction. So, you are investing in things to do with going to, fishing or farming or whatever. And as you get, it's kind of like, I guess all strategy games need to do this a little bit. The more that you invest in one strategy, the more powerful that becomes. And that means that you have to lean into it and specialize. And I think the way that you can do this with balancing in any type of strategy game, whether it's something like this or more combat focused, is if you have a kind of tree of strategies, then they should become disproportionately more powerful the more that you invest in them. Because that really... that encourages players to have to invest mostly in 1 or 2 things rather than get a little bit of everything, right? Because if the tier 3 of things is like, 3 times more powerful than the tier 2, then it pays to have tier 3 rather than 2 things in tier 2. And I can feel the economy of the game kind of pulling in that direction. The tech tree is quite simple. There's not loads of stuff in the tech tree of things to like discover and invent. And that works in this context thematically as well, because it's kind of a, everyone is going to get most of the things kind of thing, but it takes a long time to build it up. So you are going to have periods where you are, you've spec'd into fishing and you're focusing on that. And now, this tribe has driven you away from the sea and now you can't use your strength at fishing because of the physical location on the map. It just all, knots together really, really nicely. And it feels like there's just... the level of complexity in this game is very good. It's not got anything in it that shouldn't be there. Like someone said in the chat earlier, it feels very grounded and human because it's about tribes with named individuals. That works very well. Just really, really lots and lots of stuff to like here. And if I were to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and give critical feedback and be very deliberately critical, most of it would be to do with the tactility and the moment-to-moment awareness of what just happened. You know, like, we have a random event, it says someone might die or whatever, I trigger the event, it should be a bit more immediately clear what happened as the outcome of that. You've got a tooltip for it, like someone in the chat said. You can have a summary and a don't show me this again tick. Great way of handling it. And then the other one is like lots of these events when I'm building these little monuments and stuff, and I think, you know, maybe making these feel a little bit more like a physical counter on the map, maybe drawing them so they are on this kind of isometric angle and there's a bit more of a physical thing that's on the map. And then, you know, when I'm building my monument, making the stone and the wood go down from here and plop into the monument as it's deposited, or something like that. I don't know. Or even, you know, maybe it comes out of the tribe and goes into there, just so that you have that immediate reminder of what that tribe was doing, or what that band was doing that turn. Because I understand that the flow of it in terms of UX is, okay, the Tear tribe this year, they're focusing on building the monument, and the resource doesn't actually get spent until you press end turn and the next year starts to come around. So that might be a thing where, okay, when we press end turn, I'm actually over on Tribe Nick and I don't have Tur selected anymore. So we can't pull the resource down from here in the interface. But what we could do is have all of the stone and the wood that they're spending to do their building project. Like when Nick were building the farm here, like have all of the wood kind of pop out of the top of the tribe and go into the farm. I think those types of things would really, really elevate this in terms of making it easier to remember what's happening, and also I just like that little bit more of tactility, because there are moments in this game where I sort of need to remind myself that it's simulating a board game, and then when I do, it becomes easier to understand. And like understanding that these, like the quarry, the predators, the buildings, they all sit on the edge of the hexagonal grid, for example. That's something I had to keep reminding myself of. And then when I did, it was really easy to understand how this kind of worked. Because a lot of the time when you're moving your groups around, you know, sometimes you're trying to keep them away from all the predators. So you're looking for a spot that doesn't have any of these adjoining. The hex map looks great. I do think some of these tokens that sit at the corners could look a little bit more like a board game component. That is, because we've got that here. We've got this isometric viewpoint on the tribes and the selection circle where it looks like stuff placed on a board, but all of these other components don't have that kind of, that same quality to them, and I think that could be something to think about. And it's one of those things that it could be diminishing returns. It might not be worth all of that extra work, but definitely worth thinking about. You know, all of these buildings, I would imagine like a an oval that is placed on the board. I'm gonna do it very, very quickly in Canva. See what we can do. You know, we love a quick Canva doodle. Last 10 minutes. Just make sure I haven't been making like horrendously offensive memes in it or something before I open it up. No, just a quiz. Just my quiz questions. No, that's not the right type of document. Canva doodle, Canva doodle. That's all right. Thanks for sending it in again. It's a joy to play. So yeah, I guess the way I was imagining this would be if we had, Because you do need the player color in them, right? The player color is really important so you can see which things you own. But if you had something that was like, let me just get the same shape oval as that selection circle. And, you know, this is definitely one of those your mileage may vary things. It might be one of those things where it's absolutely diminishing returns to do this and it's not going to add much. But I did keep feeling like my brain kept forgetting that it was a board game. And then when I remembered I was basically playing a board game, it became easier to understand certain things. So I'm just picking the player color stuff out. So if you had like something that felt more like a 3D counter like that, and then, you know, you've got these little 3D guys, so something that looks like that kind of late 90s 3D, you know, like a 3D sprite turned into a 2D, a 3D model turned into a 2D sprite. So if I go on Open Game Art and find, I bet there's like a... Can I just steal that for now? That sort of thing. It's weirdly fiddly. Be quite difficult to find things that look right at that projection angle, because you're going to end up with stuff that's not like time appropriate and everything, and your icons already, they work. I think they all communicate what the thing is. It's just I keep forgetting that I'm basically playing a board game, and then I forget how the grid works. But yeah, definitely one of those things to take with a pinch of salt, because other people will be fine with it. You know, that kind of thing. And then the... And even stuff like that. So you have the, you know, the eagle symbol with a little bit of a projection on it so that it looks like a, I don't know. Feels like it might be diminishing returns, but worth thinking about. Just because it will help make it more board gamey. Yeah, I mean, if you did go down this route of having these little, they look like models on a little coloured stand, I mean, we could still put the flag on there as well, so you would do like, you know, they would still have the flag on. because otherwise you lose the symbol, and the symbol is part of what makes it colorblind friendly, right? Obelisk. If you did go down that route, though, I'm not quite sure what you would do with these ones, but I think they would still work as a symbol that had been, like, just tilted slightly. I don't think these really have to change. They work fine, but there's maybe... I think the thing is that if you look at Mount Kazbek here, it's like the physical hexagon is the mountain, and then this symbol is here to tell you what that means. Whereas these, it's like there's just the abstract symbol. And I think with some of these things where we are actually building something onto the map and we're saying this is a farm now or whatever, it might be good to make them feel like they sort of slightly more live in the same space as these little tents and stuff where our little people are walking around. But yeah, I don't think you necessarily need to spend a long time on the individual assets, because even just plopping stuff like that in could go a long way. But it depends how many of these you've got to do as well, like how many of these different components are there in terms of quarries and farms and things that you can build on the map. But yeah, great game. If you're watching this and that game excites you in any way, go and check it out. It is part of the Next Fest. It is on the Steam. And as always, you know, particularly if you're a member and you're submitting your games, like, you know, Curious Dynamics is a member. So that's a situation where I'm more likely to look at the game more than once. But it also means you can get in touch and poke me about particular dates and say, hey, could you stream my game on this date because this thing is coming up. The games that come in from the public form on indiegameclinic.com, I try and play them before they're released. I play them when I can get around to them or when there's a themed stream that they fit into. But, you know, those ones, it's really just a matter of what catches my eye and what feels appropriate for the particular stream. But if you're a member, you know, the games come in from the patron community much slower, so you can be a bit more, you know, picky with me or specific about when you want to stream things. And I don't have a very good mental calendar for when all the Steam stuff is happening. I'm not super Steam focused. I'm not super publishing focused. I do not have all of the upcoming Steam Fests tattooed on the back of my eyelids like some people. So nudging me about these things is a good idea. Thank you so much for joining today. And I'm going to write a review for Folk Emerging now. Ugh. I'm going to write a review like a cave person. Ugh want play game. Game what make Ugh think hard. Ugh want think hard about food. Ugh want be smart. Get food for tribe. But Ugh know that get food hard. Get food hard when other tribe want get food. Ugh want play game where other tribe fight Ugh's tribe. Ugh want play game where Ugh's tribe get food and build big shiny. Ugh go on Steam. Ugh find this game. Ugh very happy. This game make Ugh feel smart, just right. Not make Ugh brain hurt. but not make Ugg bored. Ugg tell friends in tribe. This game good. Go play it. There we go. Allow comments. Absolutely not. Do you recommend this game? Yes. Thanks for joining. See you all soon.